Happy Form Friday, you guys. Coach Hannah here with Coach Alicia of Fit Body Bootcamp. This week we are going to be focusing on the push-up exercise. I know it's a pretty basic movement that we've all been doing for most of our lives, but we still see it go wrong. So we want to kind of break it down, show you the how-to and how not to of it. So we know that the push-up is primarily an upper body exercise that also targets the core. We're working a lot of the chest and the shoulders, primarily those pectoral muscles, but the core is there for a lot of stabilization, keeping us up in that plank exercise kind of motion. So I'm gonna let Coach Alicia show you guys how a standard push-up should look. So what we're focusing on here is her elbows pointing back and her body dropping down in one straight line and then coming up in one straight line, same way it dropped down. So some things that we see go wrong is that instead of people pointing their elbows back, we see their elbows go all the way up in line with their shoulders or even higher sometimes, which is an improper forward rotation for your shoulders. And that's kind of how you can cause or irritate an already lingering injury. So let's see what that looks like. That's good. How did that feel?
Not good.
Right? That hurt your shoulders a little bit?
Yes. Yeah.
Another thing that we see go wrong is that sometimes people will only dip their hips and not actually bend at their elbows. So it's just like a hip drop and then back up. What's that doing? That's only a lot of bad pressure for your lower back. So it's super important that you are stabilizing your core, you are pulling your belly button into your spine, staying nice and tight, dropping down in a straight line and back up. Let's show them what it looks like when you only drop your hips.
Yeah, lower back, there you go.
How did that feel?
Yeah, not good as well.
Did you feel anything in your shoulders?
No.
No.
Lower back, all lower back.
So that's how to cause or irritate another injury. So we understand that it might be a little bit difficult to do a push-up on your toes, bringing your entire body down because that's adding a lot more resistance. So if you need to start and kind of progress your way up, what we would do is have you start with a push-up on your knees, moving only from your knees up, down to the ground, and then back up to full extension. Let's show that. Perfect. So what we noticed there is she took out part of her lower body so that it's less of her body to bring back up from that push-up position. One other thing that we do notice is that sometimes people will keep their hips up in the air and then they'll bring only their shoulders down, which when doing it properly can be considered a downward dog push-up, but it's not anything you should be doing when you're trying to do just a standard push-up. Let's show them what that looks like. So hips are in the air and only the shoulders are dropping down. If your objective is to do the downward dog push-up, that's a great one to go for to really target more of your shoulders. But if your objective is to do a standard push-up where your body is flat, you're bringing yourself down and back up, that you might not be doing it properly. So it's super important to know exactly what you're doing and what your objective is every time. So remember on the push-up, core should be tight, so it's stabilizing you in that flat position. Elbows should be pointed back, not to the side. We want to protect those shoulders and all the muscles in there. Hips should stay in line with the body, not dipping down low. And then your body overall should just be flat, not just your shoulders down and not your hips, not just your hips and only your shoulders. We want everything flat, dropping down and picking right back up. So that's your Form Friday for you. Have a great weekend, guys.